So, formerly I think it's called North Kent Police Station, but yeah, it's now the force headquarters. It used to be over in Maidstone, I believe. I'm sure a lot of you guys have probably seen this before, and plenty of other auditors and that have been here. So you see a big building here, and they've got the Kent Constabulary flag flying, but they don't have the UK flag anywhere, which is a bit odd. Honestly, I think that should take precedence over the local constabulary flag. Can't see any marked vehicles anywhere though. So that looks like yeah, it's a staff car park for their vehicles. So I'm not sure where the marked vehicles are kept. Just seen a van drive into this big sort of fancy tiny little gap, but yeah, I think I saw a couple of marked vehicles through that tiny little gap there. So yeah, I think that if we're going to get any marked vehicles coming out, it's going to be out of there. But then they'll have to come down this way anyway. So I think they'll come down here. So it looks like we've got a custody van pulling out there, and Iveco Serco van. So it looks like they do have some sort of custody thing going on. So Serco are a huge conglomerate that work very closely in lots of governmental departments, including prisoner transport to and from prisons. Yeah, that's not all they do. They also own a vast majority of speed cameras in the United Kingdom, stuff like that. They have military contracts. They have all sorts of stuff, really, all sorts of stuff. I'll come down and have a little look into the building if we can. Have a look at the force headquarters reception area.
What happens when a camera meets authority, at one of the most secure police headquarters in the UK? Today's case isn't just about filming in public, it's about perception, power, and a moment no one saw coming. On the surface, this looks like a routine audit, a citizen with a camera, a police station, and the question of rights versus control. But beneath that, something very different unfolds. We've got a high-security facility, limited visibility, and an environment where even the smallest action, like flying a drone, can trigger a massive response. Now here's where it gets interesting. Instead of confrontation, instead of escalation, something unexpected shifts the entire tone of this encounter. A moment of tension turns into something deeply human. But don't get comfortable just yet, because the line between lawful filming and perceived threat is razor thin. So the real question is, will this turn into another clash, or something far more surprising? Stay with us, because
The green button once to lock the outer door and use the phone on the opposite wall, and you'll be connected to the police headquarters. Press the green button again to unlock the outer door. That's a lot if you were being chased or something by someone. You could like run here, press the green button and like lock them out and then get straight through to the police. And then they've got some very poorly printed, state of that. That is such poor quality. That looks awful. That literally looks like something somebody's made in like secondary school or something. That is not good. Where's the other door? Yeah, this is a front counter station, so services available here include all of those. So I've got report it, process it, request it, seize it, prove it, apply for it, find it, pay it, share it. So if you see anything suspicious, you see people walking around with cameras, guys, you can report it under confidentially under terrorism at gov.uk/ACT. Yeah, other than that, there's not a lot else going on in here. We've got providing first class service and serving the people of Kent. So you've got the Chief Constable is Alan Pugsley.
Right away, you can feel the tone being set, and it's subtle, but important. The mention of heavy security fencing and even something as symbolic as the absence of a national flag creates an atmosphere that feels closed off. And that matters, because public buildings, especially ones funded by taxpayers, are expected to feel accessible, not intimidating. Now here's the thing, auditors often look for these details because they signal how an institution might respond to scrutiny. Are they open and transparent? Or defensive and guarded? And let's be honest, most viewers already have expectations when it comes to police audits. You're probably thinking, okay, when does the confrontation start? But hold that thought, because this situation is quietly building tension in a completely different way.
Serving the people of Kent, apparently. Yeah. So let's just wait till the ladies free on the front counter. Yeah, Yeah, just wanted to let you know really that I'm going to be in the area. I'm going to be doing some photography and that. Notice there's no marked vehicles anywhere. Whereabouts are they?
Sorry?
No marked vehicles.
No,
like,
they'll be out parked in the back.
Oh, is that all that big blocked off and so you can't see through it? Okay,
Yeah.
fair enough. So wait for hopefully some to come out. That's fine. Just let you know. Also, I'm there. If the wind,
Just if anybody asks, I can let them know.
yeah, if the wind's not too strong, I might be taking a drone over as
Yeah,
well.
that's
But yeah, just so
Yeah,
people don't
thank
freak out if
No,
they see it.
thank you for letting me know.
All right.
This is one of those moments that really makes you stop and think. On one hand, you've got a public-facing reception area, somewhere that's supposed to help people in distress. On the other hand, you've got layers of security that almost feel overwhelming. And that refuge system? It's a great idea in theory, but in practice, imagine being chased or panicking and having to follow multi-step instructions just to get help. IT raises a bigger question. Are these systems designed with real human behavior in mind, or just policy compliance? Because in high-stress situations, simplicity saves lives. And here, there's a clear disconnect between intention and usability. What do you think? Does this setup feel reassuring, or unnecessarily complicated?
Doing some photography, and that might be flying a drone, and then, yeah, hopefully that way they won't freak out too much about it. Yeah, so got this car park over here, and but yeah, this is definitely all personal vehicles. So I do have a sign on the gate there. Zoom in, see if I can get that a bit better for you. So obviously you can pause and read that as you wish. But it's basically about being in the interest of yours and your colleagues' health and safety, and it complies to the following requirements. But yes, that's a staff car park anyway. Okay. We finally got a small little marked vehicle come out. Looks like a Ford KA. It's a little, tiny little car anyway. Tiny, tiny, tiny.
Now this is where things take a bold turn. Informing the police in advance that you might fly a drone over their headquarters. That's not just confidence, that's strategy. Most auditors rely on surprise to capture genuine reactions, but here, the auditor flips the script completely. By giving a heads up, he removes any claim of suspicious behavior, but at the same time, he puts himself directly on their radar. And let's be real, drones and police stations are a sensitive mix. Even if it's legal, it feels like a security risk. So now the tension shifts from, will they notice, to, how will they respond? And trust me, this is exactly the kind of situation where things can escalate very quickly.
Yeah. Pardon? I've already told the lady on the front desk.
Okay, well, it's my police station, so if you could entertain me and just...
Who are you, sorry?
I'm Superintendent Nick Sparks, I'm in charge of the station.
Nick Spock. Oh, it's
Yeah.
nice to meet you, Superintendent. Do you want to come off the roadway a little bit in case the
I'm
car comes
absolutely
around?
fine, thank you. We're just
You
about
sure?
to hold
Okay,
2 minutes
fair
silence for our colleague,
Are you-
around our flagpole, so there's going to be a lot of police out here. And
Oh, that'll make
respect.
some wonderful photography. I respect the 2 minute silence, but that'll
Yeah,
be that'll make a really great commemoration,
Yeah.
a historical record of that.
Could you
So,
just let me know what you're doing, just from a
Just doing some
sort of
photography,
security. Is that what it is?
videography, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Like, as I said to the lady on the front desk, I'm here to do some photography. I noticed obviously you haven't really got any motor
That's
vehicles
good.
out here. She told me they're in there.
Yeah.
Fine, not a problem. So I said I'll wait for them to come out. Just got that one coming out. I'm told that potentially I'll be flying a drone over because it's not too windy. And
Okay, you're not allowed to fly over the police station.
What's that?
So, from a security perspective, I'd ask you, you're allowed to do it in the public space.
oh yeah, of course. I'll go off your site. I won't take off from here.
What you can see from over there is within limits.
Yeah,
over
yeah.
the actual site.
No, but I'll be
itself.
flying over, but I won't be taking off from your site.
Yeah.
But I'll be flying over.
You'll go over the top.
Yeah,
Right.
of course. Because I understand that you wouldn't like me to, but obviously the airspace is controlled by the CAA and not by yourselves.
Yeah, fully aware of that.
So yeah, and there's no flight restriction zones here. I've checked already. Like I said, I can't really get many marked vehicles and that from here. Beautiful site to get some aerial photography of. There's already loads on Google Maps anyway, but
Okay, we'll hold our 2-minute silence and for our colleague, and then I'll probably get someone to come over and speak to you a little bit more. All right, but have a nice day.
thanks to that.
All right.
All right, thanks. But yeah, so we're here to do a 2-minute silence. So looks like I've actually come at quite a right time to be here. So as I said, I will respect their 2-minute silence. And when they observe it, I shall just record the 2 minutes and just do some photography. Yeah, so this is a...
Alright, this is it, the moment every audit builds toward. An officer approaches, and instantly, you expect the usual script: questions, demands, maybe even threats of detention. But something feels different here. The tone is controlled, almost measured, and then comes the reveal: not just any officer, but the superintendent in charge of the entire station. That's a big deal. When someone at that level steps in personally, it usually means one of two things: either this is being taken very seriously, or they're trying to keep things calm before they escalate. So now the stakes are higher. This isn't just a random interaction anymore. This is leadership, face to face with a citizen exercising their rights. The question is,
what I'm actually going to cross over. Let me get some photography over here.
that, everything changes. What started as a potential rights-based confrontation suddenly becomes something much more human. A 2-minute silence for a fallen colleague shifts the entire dynamic. This is no longer just about cameras, drones, or legal boundaries, it's about respect, and this is where things get complicated. Because audits are designed to test authority, to challenge systems,